So to answer your question, I would say, and I think it's similar to what the secretary said, when you're white, you don't know what it's like to be living in a ghetto. You don't know what it's like to be poor.
You're playing, right? I get nothing from the government, though. Nothing. I don't even get food stamps. I get nothing from the government.
I get my food from other places, like trucks deliver it, and then there's garbage bags. Bakeries throw out perfectly good food. It's easier. You get to learn where the free stuff is, and it gets easier. The first winter's the worst, coldest, you're outside. Second winter, you find that place to stay, maybe like the Bowery Mission, something like that. They'll let you sleep on the chapel floor if it's cold.
It does get really tough in the wintertime, even for me. You know, you wake up in the morning and, and you know, there's frost on the walls. Your clothes are frosty. Throw them inside the sleeping bag with you for a little while and try to warm them up, get into them, get out and run around. But other than that, that's about all you can do about it. And being out here with no address, no phone, it does make it difficult when you go to apply for certain jobs. As soon as they find out that you're homeless, they think you're not worth their time, regardless of what reputation you may have built over the years. Unless they know you, once they find out you're homeless, don't have a phone, they drop your application in the trash can as soon as you leave.
No, it cost me $300 for a one-room efficiency. In the wintertime, the heat cost me another $300, and that was 2 weeks of my salary. I came down to where I'm staying now on my bicycle, psyched out of the place, called it a tow truck. Tow truck came down, got me, my camper, my stuff, and pulled me in.
I've lived underneath bridges in the wintertime. I've lived in tents in the wintertime. It's hard.
Describe it. Why is it hard?
Cold, wetness, the dew. No matter how much you try to put the blankets and stuff around your tent, all your stuff inside, you try to put it in a corner so you got more room. It's wet. It gets soaked. You lose a lot of clothes.
I was married for 15 years, and basically my husband drove semi coast to coast for a living, and we lived out there. He ended up getting a gambling habit, and we ended up fighting over, you know, paying bills or gambling. And needless to say, I lost, and he got mad at me and told me to get my things and get out. Basically, I just tried to find me a spot. I'd more or less walk all day looking around to find a safe enough spot where I wouldn't get bothered and where I'd feel secure, and then I'd go ahead and either set up my tent or just roll the sleeping bag out and go to sleep for the night. It got to the point where I went out, I think it was off of Euclid and 235, Interstate 235. I sat there on that bridge, and it was raining, and I just felt like giving up. And I was debating on jumping off the bridge.
My name is Van. My last woman had some health problems, and the bills were mounting up quickly. One of my friends said, well, you know, that I can make a lot of money making crack. when they popped me, I was facing 50 years. I bargained it down to 13 for manufacturing and distribution. When I got out of prison, I thought I'd go right back to the mainstream, go right to work. But then a lot of my friends, said we'd love to hire you, but our insurance company doesn't think that's such a good idea. In the 2 years I've been out of prison, I've had 2 heart attacks, 2 strokes, and four major operations. And that's one of them. I made my money by picking up cans and bottles, digging in dumpsters, and I would guess I walk about 20 miles a day because I go all over town.
If you couldn't walk, suddenly if you couldn't walk and you were out here in a tent, what would happen? I mean, what would that be like if there was no one around to help you?
Well, one of 2 things. If I was able to walk, I'd either starve to death or kill myself. One of the 2 choices.
You don't know what it's like to be hassled when you walk down the street or you get dragged out of a car.
That man, 21 years old, spent 4 nights at Rikers Island in jail, but the rabbi here, backed by city leaders, believe he is not a criminal. In fact, they believe he is the victim of police brutality. The video begins with 2 officers approaching a sleeping man here at the Alternative Learning Institute for Young Adults in Crown Heights early last Monday morning. One officer takes a boxer stance, winds up, and punches the 21-year-old multiple times. Moments later, the other officer joins in, swinging her nightstick repeatedly. We can't hear what's said, but it doesn't make it any less painful for youth center members to watch.
It was extremely troubling. It hurt me a lot to watch the video.
Assemblyman Dov Hiken and nearly a dozen city and state leaders are calling for an investigation. In a statement, NYPD spokesperson Paul Brown explains police responded to a call of a dispute inside of a synagogue's outreach center in Brooklyn, where a man refused to vacate the women's portion of the center. The officers used force to effect the arrest, in which Ehud Halevi was charged with assault, trespass, resisting arrest, and harassment. The Internal Affairs Bureau is investigating and has referred the case to the Civilian Complaint Review Board. But the facility's rabbi says Halevi was allowed to spend the night here and that someone called the police by accident. A misunderstanding some believe never should have escalated to this.
Now I wonder how many other times are New Yorkers charged with serious crimes and there is no video camera to tell the story. It cannot be out there protecting the public. We need to be protected from them.
I want the charges dismissed immediately. I want a full and complete investigation, and I want these officers off the force.
Tonight, 9 News Now has uncovered new information on a deadly police shooting in Culpeper. An eyewitness now contradicting the police version of yesterday's confrontation in a Catholic school parking lot that ended with the death of 54-year-old Patricia Cook. Peggy Fox is in Culpeper with the latest on this investigation.
An eyewitness here in Culpeper is contradicting what state police are saying about the investigation and why the Culpeper police officer fired at a Sunday school teacher.
He had his hand on the door handle, one hand here and one hand, I remember distinctly because his hands were real close together.
Chris Buchel says he saw a Culpeper town police officer shoot 54-year-old Patricia Cook to death in this church parking lot yesterday morning. Cook was in her Jeep Wrangler. State police say Cook rolled up the window, catching the officer's arm inside, and then dragged him. Buchel says it didn't happen that way.
He was right next to the vehicle. He had one hand on the door handle and one hand on his weapon. And she was rolling the window up, and they were exiting out of the parking lot. The window was halfway up. He said, "Stop or I'll shoot." And I really didn't think he was going to do it. But she got the window all the way up, and that's when he shot. And then she took it left out of the parking lot here. And he stepped out in the street and fired 5 more times.
Buchel says the officer was not dragged. He says he couldn't have had his arm caught because he fired through the glass.
I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm sad. I'm fighting back tears right now.
Cook's husband doesn't understand why an officer would shoot his unarmed wife multiple times.
Personally, I think it may be an overreaction, maybe excessive force, but I can only surmise that.
He doesn't know why his wife was in the parking lot of the Epiphany Catholic School. Their couple's pastor at Culpeper United Methodist Church thinks she may have been there searching for a job to work with children because she loved her volunteer role teaching Sunday school here.
We have to celebrate the good things and the parts that we had of Pat and not just what we've lost.
Gary Cook is filled with questions along with his grief over his wife's killing.
I wish I knew what was going on. I honestly do. I wish I knew what was happening.
Culpeper Town Police and the County Sheriff's Department are assisting state police in the investigation. No charges have been filed, but Gary Clark is talking to an attorney about possible legal action. In Culpeper, Peggy Fox, 9 News Now.
Well, thank you, Peggy. And we should note the Virginia Medical Examiner does have Cook's body so he can determine the exact cause of death.
Most fellas gonna be the apartment. Trailer park. Hey, sir. 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 Oh. Hey, hey, hey! Shots fired! Shots fired! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Cannon, let me get you in there. You okay? You okay? Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get them off and you get the oh, it hurts. Johnny, give me in there. All in one. It's trying to stomach. Oh, shoot. Stay right there. Who was doing the shooting? No, sir. You put me there now. Can't I'm so fast. Stay still. Stay still. I'll be all right.
You're right. Oh, Lord, please.
Where do you normally sleep at?
I sleep in trash cans. Sit down. Sit down where? Right there on the curb. The little brick curb there. Okay, that's fine. There's down there. Feet out in front of you. Not fucking around anymore. Try to be nice. Okay. Feet out in front of you. Slowly. Put your hands on your fucking knees. Put your feet out in front of you.
Well, which one is it, dude?
Both.
I can't do both.
Well, you're gonna have to do it real quick. Put your hands on your knees. No, see my fist?
Yeah, what about him?
He's getting ready to fuck you up. Put your fucking hands on your knees.
Well, hey, I'm sick of playing games. Which one is it?
Put your fucking hands on your knees.
Would you just fucking...
Put your hands...
Would you just fucking... All right.
Get on the ground now. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Put your hands on your butt. Okay. Dude, I can't breathe, man. No. Please, Dad! Help me! Help me, please, Dad! Help!
May 15, 2012's Fullerton City Council meeting was the first after the public saw previously concealed security footage of Kelly Thomas getting beat to death by police. The footage was shown in court as a part of a preliminary hearing for Corporal Jay Cicinelli and Officer Manuel Ramos, and subsequently released online to the public. Residents and sympathizers waited over 10 months for the footage to be released, so when they had a chance to tell the city what they thought, they didn't hold back.
We screamed for months to release that video. You looked at us all with contempt. You called us a mob. Any word you could describe to downplay what we were saying for months. To trust that badge is really, really, really hard to do. And it's going to be hard to do.
You watched that video and you kept those police officers on the street.
I had to walk out of that courtroom.
I had to walk out when the judge said, can anyone not control themselves? I walked out. That's how bad it was.
And then there were many tears, a lot of emotion as the clerk read the verdict and announced that they were not guilty on all 4 counts of the former officers.
So what this means is all of us need to be very afraid now. It's carte blanche for police officers everywhere. Can beat us, kill us, whatever they want, because it has been proven right here today
that they'll get away with it.
They'll get away with it.
They got away with murdering my son.
These peace officers were doing their jobs. They were operating as they were trained, and they had no malice in their hearts.
No, see my fist? Yeah, what about him? He's getting ready to fuck you up.
They were not out to get somebody that night. They were working.
Do it.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground now! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Don't make noise! Put up! Moving up! Get your hands up! Still got the knives in his hand? Still got the knives in his hand. Still got his knives in his hand.
Stepping up behind you. You moving?
His hands still armed.
Yep.
Get your hands out. Get drop your the hands
Lean
out.
back. Right behind you.
Put your hands out to your side and drop the knife. Hands out to your side.
Beanbag! Beanbag!
Drop the knife. Drop the knife. Drop the knife.
Still got the knife in your hand? Negative effect.
Guys want to dog on him? I can get him on him.
Yeah. I don't want that knife in his hand.
I'll be hands free.
All right, he's good. Somebody step on that right hand real hard.
He's got a knife in each hand. Knife in each hand.
Knife in each hand.
Rex, close.
I got left.
Good on you.
I'm gonna switch you.
All right.
Good. You got lethal right there?
Yes, I have lethal.
I'll shove it in.
Follow. Look for that knife. It's further away from you.
I didn't see where the other one went. Where'd the first knife go?
And I believe that as a nation in the year 2016, we must be firm in making it clear we will end institutional racism and reform a broken criminal justice system.